And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, guys. I hope you guys are great. I hope you are wonderful. And as you know, this is your Reverend Dr. Marie Prevail. This is your fab coach, your coach, your fabulous and favorite coach. I'm here today to share with you a very interesting subject. I already did it in Creole with a guest, and now I'm just gonna do it alone. So sad, I know. I should have get it somebody else because this is such a heavy topic. I really didn't want to do it by myself, but nevertheless, we're here, so we're gonna get it done. Okay. Pretty much what we talk about is the broken trust. As you can see, that was the topic. And it is such a heavy topic, not because that it cannot be broken down, but it just because this is something that happens so many times and people are constantly feeling left out when that happens because either sometimes people are blaming them for what happens. For example, when a partner cheated, and let's say the other partner used to work hard, was constantly, at work or traveling or something of that nature. So people tend to go back and say, why weren't you home? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? So I guess let's get started. So when we're talking about trust, it appears that it comes from the Old Norse word trust, which is Traust. Trust was really something that was referred to religion, it was much more for like religious people to have trust in each other, trust in their God, trust in, whatever it needs that needs to be whoever needs to be around them. They needed to trust them. And that means the definition of that word was to help, confidence, support, and protection, confidence, support, help. These are the four words that I had found in I think the dictionary or something. I don't know. I asked Google. so so when we think about even those words, are a bit heavy when you think about putting that on someone. When you tell someone, I need help, it's like, wow, it's like they have to respond to you. And for you to even ask them for help, you have to trust them. And when you think about support, not anybody or everybody's going to support you. The people that usually support you are your family, or other people you trust. And then we have confidence. Confidence, you gotta have, you trust your own self. It's not a matter of always trusting people, but you gotta have confidence to trust your own self, to be able to trust in someone. A lot of times, we have issues with trusting people. It's not because we have an issue with trusting people. A lot of time it's because we have issues with trusting ourselves. Maybe we had a bad experience before, and then things didn't turn out the way that you had hoped or the way that you dreamed of. And next thing you just don't trust people anymore. You just don't trust people anymore. So so it's not always about the other person. Sometimes it's constantly about yourself. And which word did I pick? Protection, maybe? I don't even know. And when you think about protection, again, that's another level of trust. It's someone who's going to be protecting you is going to be someone that you trust. It's not going to be just anybody out there who just comes and like, oh yeah, let me protect you, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, come protect me. So this word is very loaded. It doesn't come it doesn't come empty-handed. It really comes heavy, and we have to be willing to do quite a couple of things to be able to trust people or trust ourselves. um Sometimes, fear causes people to do a lot of things, and sometimes when people say, someone broke my trust and I trusted them, look at what they've done. It's not always the trust that is broken. Sometimes it could be the person just got scared. Something happened. Like sometimes you see people that's supposed to get married and they get cold feet. So it's not that, they don't trust you. It's just they got cold feet. Some people just, they build up anxiety, and they build up all this fear, and it makes them unable to come forward and say, yes, I want to marry you, yes, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Not because they don't want to be with you for the rest of their lives, but it's just because they just don't know what to do, or what to expect, or how to react, because it could be a situation they have not been in before. A lot of times you've heard stories about people who supposed to be getting married, and next thing you know, they walk away and leave their bride or their groom at the church, and they never show up. And I can only imagine not only the amount of shame and embarrassment that the person goes through, but the amount of pain, to have to be like, oh my God, that's the people that's constantly telling you, I can't trust people. This is what happened to me. There's always a story. Whenever someone says that I don't trust people, there's a story to match what they're saying. They're not just saying this to you because I just don't trust people, but I say this to you because this is what happened to me. One time I trusted someone, this is what happened to me. One another time I just this is so whenever someone says, I don't trust, ask them, so what's your story? Why do you not trust people? What happened to you? Did you go through a trauma? Did you? And of course, I'm saying that because we're referring to a friend. I'm not talking about like if you're out there in in the streets, and you're at the mall and someone say, yeah, I just don't trust people, and then you start, so what happened to you? Why don't you trust me? That's not what I'm saying, because that would be kind of weird if I don't know you and then you're coming to my face and asking me questions like that. People just get suspicious. You know how it is. Okay. So you have to remember, when it comes to trust, whenever something happens, whenever that trust is broken, that's it. There's no coming back. There's no coming back. Once that trust is broken, it's broken. So that's why it's important to do the best that you can to make sure that, not that you, because sometimes some people, they they forget about themselves so they can give everybody else a good life. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, you got to make sure to protect yourself. You got to make sure to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you'll be able to trust other people. Make sure, like, you don't go around breaking trust of everybody in town, because one day it'll be your turn. Karma is real, you know. Um, as I say, trust can make fear can make people do crazy things. You could think about someone that you've been helping, you've been doing things for them, and all of a sudden something happened, and you know, and you see the person run away. Like, for how many times you've heard those situations when someone could have a partner, they could have, their wife or their husband, and all of a sudden one of them got sick. One of them got badly sick. The person that used to be the provider got sick. And the other person that didn't used to be the the main provider, Now they're wondering, when is this person going to get better? When is this person, you know, so because they cannot tell the uncertainty, sometimes some of them they run away, or they start, for some of them that do not run away, they start having nasty attitude. They start, when if the person came home and they had to help them, and then they start having nasty attitude. They don't remember the thousand things that you did to them, for them before, but all they remember is the fear of being homeless. Oh my god, this person is not working anymore. What am I going to do? What if they take the house away from us? My little job cannot pay for this. My little job cannot pay for a 3 4 bedroom. My little job can only pay for 1 bedroom, so peace out. So a lot of time, it's not because people meant to hurt you. It's not because people wanted to hurt you, but fear. Fear can make people do things that are, as I think it was Tupac that says that fear can make you do things. I sure need to remember how he said it. I wonder if I can find it real quick. That fear can make you do things that's bigger than love. I Listen, let me see if I can find it. But it's just to say that it's like fear becomes as fear it's like fear becomes bigger than love, you know because people just, you know um when they're in fear, nothing else matters. When they in fear, it doesn't matter what you give them. It doesn't matter what you do or did for them. The fear just take over their life. And once the fear takes over their life, you know, that's it. That's it. They become, that different person, and there isn't anything or much that you can do to stop it. Let me see. Why am I not finding you, darling? Okay, let me see. Maybe it's in this one. So just keep that in mind next time, when someone does something to you and they really make you upset. They drop you somewhere that you certainly did not want to be in. Um, so it makes you ponder. It makes you question everything about them. It makes you question who they are, what they are. Why did they do that to you? What were they thinking about? It makes you question everything. Let me see. It was really good how he said it. Hmm. It was really good how he phrased it, because he's a lyrical man. But he was saying, like, don't trust anybody, because let's see if I could find it. Is that it? It was just like a couple seconds thing. I don't know how long this is. This is like 3 minutes. Ah, I found it. Ha! What do you know? Like my son says, right? What do you know?
I would tell each and every person out there, don't forget about that clicking up thing. You know what I mean? Be to yourself. Stay to yourself. Trust nobody. Trust nobody after dog. You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything. Turned on me. Fear is stronger than love. Remember that. Fear is stronger than love. All the love I gave didn't mean nothing when it came to fear. So it's all good. But I'm a soldier. I always survive. I constantly come back. You know what I mean? Only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that ever stopped me is death. And even then, my music will live forever. I would tell.
Okay. So I hope you got it. I hope it makes sense to you. I had found this, I thought it made a lot of sense, um, because a lot of times we tend to trust people, but we trust the wrong people. We tend to trust people on the basis of, how popular they are, how how much money they have, or um, other things than the idea of, is this person, I don't know, trustable? you know can you trust this person? And it doesn't matter. And the other thing, it's like, it doesn't matter. When you trust someone, you have to keep some reserve to remember that, although you trust this person, okay, leave some reserve to know that at any point in time this person can change their mind. At any point in time they can change their minds. They're not going to say, oh, okay, it's her, and I love her so much I can't trust. No, people can have principles. People can say, people can have principle. They can say, oh, I'm not like that. I can't do this. I can't betray my friend or whatever. But once it's the right price, they will. And when I say the right price, I'm not solely talking about money. You know, sometimes it's going to be a man. Sometimes it's going to be another woman that's going to cause them to um, break the trust that you had in them. Imagine sometimes, like, maybe you have a little family in your house, or out of your house. They could be at your, you could have like a nephew or a niece, and especially the niece. Sometimes, you telling them something, you're like, listen, I don't think this guy is good for you. This guy's new, you don't know who he is, you got to take it easy. And then what do? They go even faster. If they were going at 20 miles, now they're going at 50 miles. And you're like, listen, you need to come down. You can't, like, jump the guns like that. You can't jump into someone so quick that you just meeting. And they start giving you attitude. They start like sizing you up, like, leave me alone. I'm 18. I could do whatever I want. I can see whoever I'm pleased, and just don't care. And start putting every kind of attitude. Start being nasty. Start, I mean, if they live with you, they start acting out and do stupid, dumb stuff that would really, like, upset you, that would really want to make you, like, kick them out or something if they were at your house. So eventually, you, when you're thinking they listen, and they go right back to the same kind of attitude. I'm just trying to, like, close this up. They go right back to the same kind of attitude with you. They everything. You ever have a friend you like that's making the wrong decision, and then when you talk to them, everything you talk to them about, they go back and they tell the person everything that you try to tell them. Listen, this person is not good for you. I don't think this is a good idea. I think you need to slow down. I don't know if this person gonna, do the best for you, as they say. I think you need to do this, you need to do that. I think this person is this person. Everything you ever told them, they go right back to tell the person. And imagine, if this person was a bad person, if this person was a criminal, some of us could lose our lives. And in most honesty, some of us have lost our lives in trying to help other people, not making the wrong choice. And next thing you know, they do make their wrong choice, and at the end you end up being the victim of something that you didn't even know about. you know so you got to be careful on, when you're making, when you're talking to people, you got to be careful how you do it. because people are just, you know, when they're in love, they're just full of it. But then later on, of course, they end up being embarrassed, realizing that what they thought is not really um, what it was. So, but so when it comes to also broken trust, um, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're incomplete. It doesn't mean that you didn't do the right thing. It doesn't mean anything about you. When someone does something to you, it's all about them. The only thing about you is that you can ask yourself, you can wonder, you can question yourself, like, okay, maybe did I make a mistake? Did I let them in too quick? Did I not set the proper boundaries? Why this person did that to me? I don't understand. I'm a little confused. You can inquire, you can wonder, you could think about certain things to try to figure out, okay, did I do something wrong? So but it doesn't mean that because of you is why the person broke your trust, not at all. The person broke your trust because people break people's trust all the time. um when someone break your trust, of course, now you're gonna be, you may feel disappointed, you may feel embarrassed, especially when it was, for example, a relationship that everybody knew about. You made everybody aware that this is who you're seeing, this is what this about, and you may have even said no to some other people just so you could say yes to that person, and then that person turns around and shut you out pretty much. So it's not a favorable situation. um Sometimes too, when people break trust, you can find the other partner decides that, you know what, I'm gonna punish him. You're not gonna come to my bed. You're gonna get out of my house, or I'm not cooking. I'm not doing this. And in all honesty, all these things, when you don't do them, you're really punishing yourself too. There isn't anything that we do to the other people. I wish that everybody would realize that there isn't anything we do to the other person that we don't do to ourselves. There isn't anything. Like, for example, imagine you have your car, and every time that partner, that friend, that let's stick to partner, because since this is more homely, this is a person who's like there with you, so it's much more easier for you to take certain um decision, regarding them. So imagine that, okay, your partner use your car, and they have the tendency of never putting gas in there. So you get annoyed and you say, you know what, I'm not gonna put gas in there. So that person take the car, and next thing you know, the car dies on the highway. So now, because of where the car died, the cops is like, well, I can't wait for you to call your insurance company. So I'm gonna have to call the towing to tow it. Now they tow your car. If your insurance came and told it's all good, they could have towed you to the house. Now, because the cops got you towing, now it's like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, depending where. If it's somewhere like in a city in downtown, it could be even thousands of dollars. So um so now you were trying to punish this person because of something they did to you. They broke your trust. You give them your car to drive, and instead of putting gas in it, they don't put gas in it. And now your car ended up being towed. And tomorrow you got to go to work. Now, instead of going to work, you got to go chase the towing company to find out where is your car. So, a lot of times when we punishing someone, we punish ourselves. Another example is that you could be like, okay, I'm not cooking. But when you're not cooking, you need to eat too. If you say, you're not cleaning the house, but you like a clean house. So now you have to punish yourself with a dirty house because the other person did something and you're trying to teach them a lesson. You're trying to punish them. But you're hurting yourself every time you do something. So that's mean when that person broke your trust, they feel bad too. Sometimes some people might not even look like they feel bad. They might try to put a mask, put a face as though like, oh, whatever, No, they feel bad too. Because whatever someone does to you, they do it to themselves as well. Um, and the other thing too, when it comes to relationship, to romance, remember that you can always leave. You're not attached to this person. You're not attached to the hip with them. They're not your twin. You know, they're not like your blood. They're not your family. This is somebody that you were trying to make your family, but they already proven that they cannot be a member of your family. So now you can decide otherwise for your um destiny, for your plan, for your life. You can decide otherwise. You don't have to remain in an environment that is toxic, which is another result um of broken trust. When people break your trust, now what happens is everywhere they go, everything that they're doing, you don't trust them. I remember someone did not trust someone so bad. The person went to throw out the garbage. There was another argument because he took too long. The garbage is right over there. It should have taken him 4 minutes and 13 seconds, but it took him 6 minutes and 3 seconds. Stuff. I mean, she didn't time up like that, but it was as if she did. So when trusts, are broken, it is near impossible to ever have it again. And even people forgive you, I don't really think that the trust is back the way that it was. It's just people forgive you so they can move forward with their lives. But it's not that they're ready to trust you again. They might be in a situation, let's say this is your wife, you got 5 kids together, and this person have never worked before, or they've done little work, and they don't know how to manage the society, this new society. They don't know how to do things. Some people, like, they've never done certain things. They don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to drive. They don't know anything. Their husband do everything. So when something like that happen in such a relationship, oftentimes the person stays because they don't know how to do anything outside of their house. So in a situation like that, sorry, but they feel like they're stuck. But if you ask me, I don't believe that you are stuck. I think it's just, you just got to relearn. You may have to even unlearn certain things to relearn those new things. So broken trust is not fun. um a lot of times it could be a lapse of judgment. People, they go to a party and everything was good and they had a little bit too much to drink, and next thing you know, it's a baby, you know. So it's a very sensitive subject, so people have to really be careful. And I don't know how many times, like, people have to explain those situation where, they were in a situation, they were in a relation, and everything was fine, and all of a sudden, when the baby's coming, they don't want to be together anymore. They don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, but you were in love, you wanted to get married, you wanted to be engaged, and all of a sudden now, because there's a baby and you don't know, you misplace your love, you don't know where your love is anymore. So in a situation like that, you break the person's heart. You have broken their trust. And for some people, it has been very difficult to return, to get back into a relationship. I've known people that, I mean, not only they were afraid to return in a balance, in a normal relationship per se, they also went around and hurt other people, and gladly, you know. because someone did something to them and they don't care and they'll just hurt people all around town, and until something happens to them or whatever it is, until they meet someone and that person kind of change their mind. But things like that happen all the time. So people have to learn to be selfish, um, you know, so they can learn to trust themselves, and so they don't have to worry about things like that anymore. When someone break your trust, um, it's because of their own problem. It's not because like you did something, and because of what you did, you didn't cook the food properly, so now they break your trust. No, people break in, and a lot of times, people put that burden on their back, and they carrying it with them all the time. Yeah, he did it because I was working too much, I was staying at work late, I was this, I was that. But it's not your responsibility. That was a decision that they decided to do. And even people sometimes that know better, they would still say things like that. They would still say, well, I understand why the person did it because, I was stuck in a situation. I was doing this, I was doing that. And this is why, no, that's not your fault. That's not your problem. That's not, they can, you cannot allow them to use you as a rug to step on, you know, because they made their own decision. No, that was their own decision. If that was a lie, they made the decision to lie to you. If that was cheating, they made the decision to cheat on you. That has nothing to do with you, unless it was, I don't know, whatever other situation you can come up with, because I'm sure somebody may come up with a situation where it was just like, and everybody's eyes gonna be like, okay, I guess, So keep in mind, as I said, when punishing people, when punishing your partner or whoever it is that you decided have broken your trust, you're also punishing yourself. Okay. Um, at the same token, there you go. The talking, right? At the at the same token, at the same token, when someone break your trust, they may create an opportunity for you to see the fullness of your own nature. Because sometimes there are things that you can do, you're good at them, but you never really tried or you never really did them because you're thinking, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can go back to school. I have all these kids, and then the person break your trust, and then all of a sudden you have that energy that just, the anger, because anger is a can be a positive energy when you use it properly. So now you're back to school, you went and got your license, you went and fixed your credit, you did everything you needed to do, and next thing you know, by that same route, you created um a business, you know, that has to do with the situation that you were in. And people around the world benefit from what you do because you know what? Someone broke your trust, and some of us make ourselves small. We minimize ourselves so we can fit into certain relationship. Because if we were as big as we are in the relationship, we wouldn't have survived. Our partner wouldn't have accepted it. But now, by them doing what they did, now you have an opportunity to realize different dimensions within you. You get to realize the fullness of your nature. You get to realize new dreams, new horizon that you could have never imagined if you were with that person. So now what are you going to do with them? This is a reminder that You're a complete person. You're not a half person. You can do things too. You have talents, you have skills, you're complete. So now what are you going to do with it? A lot of us have talents and so many things, and we just let everything die because we're not sure what to do with them. Or, like so many people sometimes I have met that have talent that they could have developed, that they could have utilized. Some people can write books, some people can talk, and because their partner is not on board, they don't do it. Sometimes some of them die, never got to realize that dream, and sometimes some of them got lucky. The partner, the crazy partner passed, transition, and then they got to realize everything that was inside of them, everything they were supposed to bring out here. They get to realize all that. So do what you need to do. If you have to be selfish sometime, be selfish. But don't be stuck in any situation that you don't want to be in. If you're there, it's because you want to be there. So don't let anyone make you be there. Don't let anyone pressure you to stay in anything that you don't want to stay in. So you have the freedom to walk away. You can walk away anytime you decide, if that's what you want to do, you know? So sometimes because we're so used to things, we're so used to, like, you find people sometimes refuse to live a relationship where it's toxic because they're used to a certain lifestyle. You can have people sometimes that survived a domestic violence situation, and then a couple days later, they were out of the house, they were at a shelter or something. But a few days later, what happens? They go right back because they're used to a lifestyle. They're used to the nice car. They're used to the huge mansion. They're used to having servants, maybe. They're used to whatever it is. They don't want to have to deal um, with something that's unfamiliar. They don't know the unknown. They don't know the uncertainty. So they don't want to have to wait to see what else that they can do. They don't want to do that. So, whenever someone break your trust, you never know. Some of them, sometimes it's a lesson they learn, and they become a better person. And sometimes even the person too that broke your trust, sometimes if they take the full opportunity of what happened, they can become so much better, so much greater than they were before. Sometimes that person may become the best person you ever known because they are so ashamed of what they've done. They see how much pain you have to go through. And next thing you know, they become a new person. They change. They regret and even may have remorse over what they've done to you. They're like, oh my God, look at how good she is. She doesn't deserve this. A lot of times when people break people's trust, that's one of the first things they say. She doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that. I should have never done that. I don't know what took over me. And of course, at the end of the day, blame it on the devil, right? We couldn't have lived this life just like that with all the things. When we are tempted, we want to do things. We had to create something to blame. So there goes. We have the devil. We can always blame him. And a lot of times too, people mistaken your strength for a desire for pain. Because I'm strong, I don't want pain. I'm strong to survive, but I'm not strong to just keep on getting pain, 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 pain. No, nobody wants that. So you got to keep that in mind because sometimes people may what's the word I'm looking for? They may trick you. They may trick you into believing, oh, you're strong, or sometimes if it's your man that did that, their family, they know you're a good person. They want to keep you guys together. And they're like, oh, you're strong. You're going to get over this. No, no, I'm not going to get over this because this is hurtful. This is traumatic. Because if people would think before breaking people's trust to know that how traumatic that can be. And not only sometimes when you have a family, when you break the mother's trust, you basically broke the family's trust because the mother is the glue that keeps the family together. The mother is the reason that everybody's together. She's the glue. The minute something happens to her, you know things are not the same. Things are not the same. So regardless what it is, I'm not saying for anyone to break anybody else's trust because they're not a mother. No. Don't break anybody else's trust. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's your children, because that's what I tell people sometimes when we're talking. When you break the other person's trust, you break your child's heart also. You break your child's trust too. Your child trusted you to be a good person for their mother, for their father. But here you are breaking the person's trust, breaking their heart and making them cry, making them depressed, giving them anxiety and all kind of things. So you gotta, because what it is that this society, some of us have not learned how to properly engage when something like that happens. Some of us, we would be like, okay, I understand, what happens. It's not about me, it's about you. I don't know what sickness you have or the reason that caused you to go do something like that. Because this is not about me. You cheating, you lying, that's not about me. That's about you. Now it's up to you to go research, to go think, to go pray, to go meditate, to find out what caused you to hurt yourself. Because you don't only hurt me, you hurt you. But if you know how to properly manage this, it hurts you less because the first thing you understand is this is not about me. This is about you. So know that again, you're a complete person. Don't let people make you believe that you're a half person. Don't let people make you believe that they're your better half. There's no such thing. You're a complete person as you are. And every day you just have to continue doing good things, doing better things so you can grow, so you can be better and better and better and better and better. So when someone do that, as I said, it's an opportunity to explore the fullness of your nature because a lot of things about your nature you don't know. A lot of things about yourself you don't really know until sometime when something happens to you, it forces you to go learn about you, who you are. Because all this time you're thinking, if that happens to me, I don't know how I'm gonna act. I don't know, I may go crazy and it happened to you and you were just calm. So now you know you can manage this. Not that you're looking for it, not that you want this to remain in your life. Of course, you want it out of your life. You don't want to live a life where you have to constantly dealing with lack of or broken trust. But you want a good life too, just like everybody else. You want a harmonious life where you can live in harmony with everything and everyone around you. Um, when someone break your trust, it would be good or important for them to find out What triggered you? What made you do that? What made you cheat? Who cheated in your family? Was your father a cheater? Was your cousin, your brother, whoever raised you, were they a cheater? What triggered you to think that it's okay for you to act this way? What triggered you to think that it was the right thing to do? You know, um, it is necessary for this person to get some personal transformation. To get some personal development, to understand themselves, to sometimes it's good to do a sabbatical, to spend some time with yourself and to understand what it is. And when it comes to having to deal with broken trust and to try to overcome it, it would require a lot of forgiveness. It could be one thing, but I mean, it requires a lot of forgiveness, because constantly it is possible that this matter can continue to come up. You know, it is possible that every minute, every second, every time something is going on in the family, you always, someone always comes up with it. Like, you remember when you do this, and don't be surprised. So that's why it requires a lot of empathy, you know, um, so people can better understand, so people can the person who's the victim has to have a lot of empathy to let the other person understand that I got you. I know you messed up, but I got you. I know it's not pretty, but I forgive you. um you know and it is possible that the person who is, the supposedly, the victim, survivor, however you want to perceive it, sometimes people need space to understand, to see, is this something that I can deal with? You broke my trust. Is this something that I can handle? Is there a way that I can manage this? I remember um, I had a person, that I was very close to, that broke my trust. And when the person broke my trust, and I couldn't deal with it at the time. It's not like I couldn't, but I think I made a choice not to deal with it because I couldn't understand their reasoning. I couldn't understand why did this happen. And on top of it, we talked about these things, and I thought that I was understood. Therefore, I put all that stuff on the person. I really, put that stuff on them, and I wanted them to keep their, keep up with it. And at the end of the day, they couldn't. And I had to get back into myself to see not what I was lacking, but what else do I need to know about myself? And what else do I need to understand, you know, about myself? And I didn't make it about them, because it wasn't only about them, it was whatever it is that they did, but it's also something that I need to process, because I was part of this situation. So now what is it? How do I want to end? How do I want to handle this? Do I want to pretend like it never happened? Or, but at the time I felt like, if you're ready for me to repeat this to you every time something happens, then yes, we can continue. But if you're not ready for me to keep saying it to you all the time, then better we part ways, and you do you, I do me. And at the end, I made the decision that, you know what, I don't feel like it's fair. If I forgive you, I should be able to let it go. But I didn't feel like letting it go, so I walked away. I said I don't think it's fair, although the person was willing. um they were willing to go through the experience to see what else we could do to make it work, but I was just like, no, The fact that you broke my trust, I'm always gonna have to feel like I have something to look out for, you know? And I didn't like that. I like to be comfortable, you know? I like to be comfortable. I like to know that that you can be trusted, and that, I trusted myself. I didn't worry about myself. I knew that, um I'm trustworthy. I knew that, there was nothing for me to worry about me. I knew who I am, who I was, what I'm willing to do. And let me just put that down. um how far I'm willing to do. I know that, I trusted myself, but I just didn't know, how the person felt, and if I forgive them, are they gonna continue to do it? Because sometimes people have the tendency of seeing things like, oh, since you forgive me, then you're gonna keep forgiving me. I felt like I needed to set the boundaries, and say, no, that's not okay, that's not acceptable, and I will not accept it, regardless how I think I feel about you. So, when things like that happen again, do not feel like you're incomplete. Do not feel like you're lacking something. Again, it's not about you. It's about the other person. It's about their mistake. It's about, their lack of vision. Um, it's not you. It's not you. And again, forgiveness will take time, because it's just not easy when you go through these things. Are not only It's not only a simple experience, but it can be tragic. It can be very traumatic. It can be very traumatic for some people, because all of us, we are built differently. Some of us can handle certain things, and some of us cannot. So we have to, you know make sure that, we able to do it. And again, like I said before, you're not held, stuck at the hip with with that person. You don't have to stay in situation, because I know sometimes people stay in broken situation, because of other situation, because you have a child together, because you go to church together, because everybody knew you guys were going to be together forever. you know don't let the situation hold you down. Don't let those situation, stop you from being yourself, from fulfilling, from fulfilling your own needs. Don't, feel like you have to be selfless, where you're not, answering to your needs, but the needs of somebody else. So, um, and for couples that are able, or families that are able to, who are willing to work it out. You have to be willing, the person who caused the problem, you have to be willing to ask, or I should say the person that caused the opportunity. I know it doesn't sound like that, but it can be that. You got to be willing to ask your partner, what do you want from me? How can I fix this? Don't just make mistakes and then, simply expect the other person to just forgive you, and you just go back to your life like nothing happens. No, you have to be willing to fix the situation the way the person wanted to be fixed, and take it from there. So this is a reminder of how fragile life can be. Today you're alive, tomorrow you transition. So it's important for us to be able to live a good life, because we know the amount of money that we have. We know, how many children we have or that we want to have. We know how many siblings we have. We know how many grandparents we have or we have left, but we don't know how much time we have left. We never know. So that's why it's important for anyone, for you, for them, for anybody to know what is it that you want to do. Don't waste time fighting a situation that is hopeless. If you think about it and you're like, I don't think this is going to work out, I think this is a waste of time. Okay, go and explore your nature. Go and explore, who you are. Go and explore other things in life. Don't be stuck in the situation thinking that, you need this person to be okay. You need this person to be in your life. Because a lot of times when you have broken trust, it can often lead to toxicity. It can cause a beautiful relationship to fall into toxicity. And who likes to be in a toxic situation where you constantly do not get along, where you constantly um, turn the party upside down? No one wants to be in such a situation. Everyone wants a good life, a happy life, a life where you can be okay, where you can feel safe, where you can feel this is where you belong. No one's want to fit in a place where they don't belong, where they're not supposed to be, where they're not appreciated. If you're somewhere you're not appreciated, it's a sign for you to keep it moving. It's a sign that maybe whatever it is that you're doing, it's over. Or maybe whatever the person came to do in your life is over. Sometimes some people come into our lives for a minute, but we wanted them to stay for an hour. And the fact that we're forcing them to stay for the hour, it turned into toxicity. It turned into broken trust. It turned into all kind of other things that we do not want or desire. We have to accept the idea that sometimes it doesn't matter. It could have been a relationship, a marriage that you had for 30 years, and all of a sudden it turned into something else. It could have been a good friendship you were supposed to have, but somehow you got carried away and you want the relationship to turn into, you want the friendship to turn into a relationship. It wasn't meant to be a relationship. It was only meant to be a friendship. So that person, when they do this, when they break your trust, they can make you realize the fullness of your nature. They can make you realize how much more impeccable you are, how much more important you are, how irreplaceable you are, how amazing you are. Because sometimes you don't know or you don't acknowledge how amazing you are until something happens to you, and seeing how you have managed to handle it with grace, then you become a different person. Sometimes some stuff that we go through, we don't realize how amazing we are until we went through that situation and we're like, oh my God, I am amazing. I am amazing beyond words. So, listen, things will happen in life. And sometimes it's not what you wanted, but sometimes it may be what you needed to make you become a more independent, to make you realize there were more dimensions out there, to make you realize that you are not broken, to make you realize that you have the right to happiness too, and that you too, my friend, deserve a wonderful life that you are proud of, that you are very proud of. So until next time, remember that if someone break your trust, sometimes it has nothing to do with you. It has all to do with them. It's about who they are. It's about what they are. Um, and it may even be about them pushing you to an alternate reality that you did not even know existed. They force you to get away or get out of your illusion. Because sometimes we live in a bubble. We think that, oh, we don't realize sometimes, life can be different. Things happen in life. And when things happen, we can't just quit. We can't just abandon. We can't just, let things be the way that we have to change. We have to upgrade. We have to do better. We have to become a bigger person. We have to um, realize that we complete, that we don't need someone else to be complete. Because a lot of times, again, until you trust yourself, it doesn't matter whatever else the other person brings to the table. You're always going to feel like you can't trust them. You're always going to feel like something is missing. And again, too, when you're at a table where you're not welcome, have the courage to get up and walk away. Have the courage to say, no, I'm not going to eat that. Have the courage to say, oh no, oh no. I like to wash my salads before I eat them. Have the courage to set boundaries, to say, this is what it is. This is how I'm willing to do, and this is what I'm not willing to do. I'm not willing to in situation that you don't need to be in. Don't let people put you in situation that you don't deserve to be in. Before you enter a relationship, you tell people what you expect. You tell them who you are. You tell them what it is that you're willing to do and not willing to do. But don't keep backing away every time they do something to you. You back away and say, okay, I'll let them step one. They took one more step towards you, and you're like, all right, fine, but this is the last time. Next week, they take another step. So now they took the entire room, and now you are stuck in a little corner by yourself. Therefore, now because you have no more space left, whatever they say goes. So, brothers and sisters, thank you for being here. If you got to listen to one in Creole, if you're one of those bilingual people, who got to listen to the Creole one, and then now you're listening to the English one, it's going to be a little different because the Creole was a guest, and this one is just me, myself, and I. So, um, I hope you were able to gobble something good from this, because this is meant to just help support and even educate if possible. Until next time, it is always a pleasure. This is your Reverend Dr. Marie Breville. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and definitely subscribe. And once you subscribe, do click that little bell so every time that I produce something, you'll have the opportunity to get it. And you definitely don't want to miss anything right now, because I'm going to be having a lot of guests. So you heard what it. And that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something about broken trust, or when someone breaks your trust. And I hope you realize something about yourself, that you're not alone. You're not alone. We're here with you. And don't feel left out. Don't feel left out. If that happened to you, as I'm talking about this, if that happened to you before I talked about this, or even after we had this conversation, just keep in mind that you're not alone. You're not alone. All right? Peace and love and blessing. One love.